Call the meeting order, please stand for pledge of allegiance.
I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, Robert, any changes to the agenda as listed?
No changes.
Call for motion to adopt the agenda.
So move. Me or him?
Either.
You what?
Okay, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Public input? Seeing none. I guess we'll skip that. Wastewater treatment plant updates.
I told Ben I'd take over for him tonight, give him some time off. Were there any questions on the wastewater notes that were provided in your packet? I could just touch on a couple of them. A couple of Ben's notes, the generator, when it kicks in, the transfer switch for some reason has been kicking out on a couple of the circuits. So he has Johnson Controls in looking at the issues to make sure that when they do run into an actual power outage, especially with the variable frequency drive pumps, that they kick in and run properly. So they were in on the 30th. They're gonna need to run more tests to find out what's causing that. And the other big note here is this year we're looking forward to actually seeing what kind of methane is produced over the winter. During the winter months, the high strength waste tends to go down some. What they're gonna do is feed it in slowly to try to keep the methane production up in the south digester. If you look at the utility chart, during November, we're using 19,455 cubic feet of methane versus 655 cubic feet of natural gas. So they're hoping that with this slow influx of the high strength waste, we'll be able to keep the methane production up and keep the cost of natural gas way down. And that's pretty much the highlights of his notes.
Any other questions?
Is there something about, was that an email we got or something about that we were gonna be able to get some salt solution or something from somebody had some stuff they were gonna give us to spread on the
Also,
salt?
Brian,
Brian, yeah,
Yeah, salt brine from Tyson.
Tyson, yeah, okay, that's,
They still are running the tests on their brine solution. That salinity is lower. What we get from the county is 85% salinity, where they run 55 to 60 for their brine solutions for their meat products and that. So what they're gonna do is finish running these tests to make sure that we can apply it, or if we were to use the product, it's environmentally safe, just like, well, safe to the DNR standards that we would get from the county. So after she gets back with me on the test results, I'll kind of review it with Ben, him having more knowledge in that field as far as wastewater goes. They have the ability to store, because when they produce that much brine, they can't apply it all into their wastewater system that they have there, because they can't meet DNR standards. So they have these 350 gallon tanks, storage tanks that are by their facility. And if it is safe to use and we were to use it, I'd make sure that they have the correct adapters already on their tanks. Because that brine unit that we're gonna get hopefully by the end of December, will have the ability to load itself with the pump that's on that unit. I did some searching into that type of salinity product and we'd be safe to use it 5 degrees, 10-degree temperature and above. So if we're receiving a free product like that and it's safe to use or meets DNR standards, it would be great to get our hands on that and pre-apply to especially some of the hills and the higher traffic areas. So that's still in the
I read
works.
it someplace.
Do they produce a lot of that?
It fluctuates a lot. They said it all depends on the type of meat product they're making at the time, and she said there can be weeks where they have none, and there's other times that they have a lot to where they're running out of storage room.
Alrighty, moving on, recommend to council an agreement engineering services for 2023 road improvement projects, East Ridge subdivision, State Street, Lincoln Court, St. John's.
Okay, for this item, I am recommending the use of McMahon and Associates for the engineering of our 2023 construction projects. The reason for my recommendations, one would be their proposal falls in line with the cost of other engineering firms. Two, they have already provided pre-planning and the opinion of probable costs for these jobs slated for 23. They hold the plans for the 2023 sanitary sewer rebuild of North Water Streets, which was kind of incorporated in the 2024 plan for the total reconstruct down there. And they'll be able to have everything ready to go by mid to late February bidding process. We want to try to get out as early as possible as these contractors are starting to look for work, hoping that if they're looking at bidding on this, they're looking at securing work for 23. And we feel the earlier we get out there, the better off we'll be cost-wise.
All right, I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
The only thing I was looking at when I read that, being as I'm on utilities too, who actually has control of the sewer? Would that be utility or would it be, or are they gonna have to oversee anything?
What's happening is Water Utilities has their engineer, and McMahon right now is sharing their plan design with Water Utilities engineer. So they're pretty much on their own grounds. We're on ours, but as a whole, we're working together so we can secure one bid, one contractor for the total project.
Yeah, because I was just looking, they're inspecting and don't want to shake up Jay over there, that they aren't doing what he wants them to do. And I see your point in trying to get that early, because we talked to utility this morning. Yeah, if the river's down in June, let's get on that project rather than wait till late. And then maybe the river will come back up, and the quicker we can get at it and get it done, the better off we are.
Correct. That's my feeling anyways.
Is there any other concerns? By anybody? All in favor of McMahon and Associates signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Abstain? Motion carried. The next thing would be discussion and approval to hire architectural for STPU grant.
Okay, this would be the third time applying for this STPU or urban grant for Pearl Streets. I had a conversation with Chad and Judy about this, and we're in agreement that it would pay to try to apply for this grant again. I would like to hire McMahon and Associates, who applied for us the past 2 times. This would come at a cost no greater than $2,500. This would cover the updating of the cost as estimates for that project. Completing all the documentation, and any meetings that come with applying for this and the changes made along the way. If you're looking at a project cost that in May had an estimate of just under $2.6 million, and we're applying for this grant that covers at 80%, the ability to, or have that possibility of them, the federal government and the state covering over $2 million of that project, it's to me worthwhile to spend up to $2,500 to apply for this grant again.
And I think it's actually up to 90%, up to 90-10 split.
Okay, when I was reading on that other one, I gathered 80-20. I know the other one we received was a 90-10 for House and Alcan.
And up to, doesn't mean that we're gonna be awarded that much, it's just up to 90-10.
Did you say that we applied 2 other times and that was in-house? We did not hire somebody to do that?
That was through McMahon also,
Mhm. Oh, that was, okay.
yes.
Do the chances get better the more you apply?
That's unknown. They have X amount allocated. We would like to think so, that we've, applying 3 times, that they would see the need and the want for this, but if you read through the verbiage, there's no, the more you apply, the better chances you have type language in the documentations at all.
One of the things that has helped us is that we've been doing a little bit with the North Water Street project. They have been doing some preliminary engineering for Pearl Street, and that helps that we've done some of that extra work already before the grant than after the grant. So that helps a little bit, but yeah, like Robert said, I don't know if 3 times is a charm or 3 times is a guarantee, but I think at this point in time, keep going. There'll be a point where it's doesn't make sense anymore, but you get 90% out of that grant, that's still a lot of money.
I'll make a motion, Aaron McMahon for that STPU grant.
Second.
Any other questions on it? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Abstain? Motion carried unanimous. Next thing I see is the director's report.
Okay, for service anniversaries, actually today, Don Goodrow completed 17 years of service with the street department. In the near future, we will be implementing some new plow techniques to help with efficiencies. With new staff and new ideas, there will be a learning curve. So I ask for your patience as we work through those steps. And to kind of wrap that statement up, I've met with the street crew later last week. I wanted input from them as far as how they plow, what they do. Pretty much try to learn what they have for an operation now. I know what I wanna implement, but I cannot implement something just by going in and saying, let's do it this way because I know it works too, and I know it works a little better maybe, without one, knowing the city really well, finding out what your wider streets are, what your collectors are for sure, identify school areas and high need areas. So with my meeting I had with them last week, I took in all that information and I'm starting to create a map on this. I want to work with them and trying to roll out to where we're rounding more corners. We're leaving less windrows across intersections. But this is all going to take a little time to implement and everybody to get comfortable. And we do have some new operators who are less experienced. So that's my plan with this moving forward. And then it might also change some of the verbiage in the city policy as far as our snow policy. So that'll be on future agendas down the road. But if you're getting questions on, you know, I always seen this before and now I'm seeing this, that's kind of what I'm shooting for. And that's all I have for the director's report.
Guess you'll always get complaints about the snow plowing, no matter how you do it.
Yes, sir.
For sure.
Some guy
Less,
don't like
less
it.
windrows would be nice though.
That's, yeah, but they can go
Less-
around the
less-
corner.
less
instead of
driving
going
over it
straight
would be
across,
great.
yeah, yeah.
I
Yeah.
agree, 100%.
Especially with my little car.
Yeah, get hung up, huh?
Oh, you just hit them hard enough, you don't get hung up on them.
That's how you take out your exhaust system, though.
All right, I guess we're to the point of future agenda items. I know we talked about large item disposal services. I don't know if there's any new information on that.
On my end, there's not as, at this time. I planned on using the winter months to kind of focus on these two. I must admit, that's like on my third back burner because I really want to start hitting the fee for using the yard sites, and or if we will charge, and with the upcoming contract that we have with Muckwa, I think is due to expire in April. And so this is something I want to bring up soon, hopefully in January's agenda.
So the best thing we can do is just keep it on as future discussions, I would think.
I would like to keep it on, yes.
They're probably gonna wanna know with their budget too, what they could pay if we were gonna up their price, because they're in the same boat everybody else is for money. So I suppose the sooner we could let them know that the price could be going up, might make them happier, I guess. I don't know.
The only questions I have, we will have to sit down and figure out how we can control people bringing in stuff from out of this, not in our plan as such, city and Muckwa. probably gonna be a headache. We'll have to figure out some way of doing that. But it's, I don't think it's something we can just jump at tonight and say, this is what we're gonna do. I think it's gonna take some
So. Yeah. it'd
thoughts
be-
and action.
I have a feeling it'll be over several, but I'd like to start in January for sure, and I can reach out to Muckwa and let them know. Or, you know, I can't give them a number, but I can definitely say our intentions are that the bit that they're paying for the amount that's coming in is not adequate, I don't feel, and to try to come up with a number sooner versus later. I know their budget year probably starts Jan 1, but
Be nice to give them a heads up on it anyways, or, feel resentful towards us.
absolutely.
Something maybe to look into, Robert, is that Mid-State Tree Service out there by North, or by Royalton. Now Ferg, they've been getting in a tub grinder once or twice a year to take care of his bark and excess wood, crooked wood he gets in. And I don't know what the cost would be, but they come into his site and they're there like 2 or 3 days. It's just on a trailer, it's like a semi trailer. They pull it in there, grind it up, they come in with a loader and push stuff up. So I don't know if that's avenue to look into and see what that cost comparison would be.
Does anybody have anything else they'd like to push future agenda items? Seeing none. Good. Seeing none, I guess we could call for adjournment.
Move to adjourn.
I'll second it. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We are adjourned.